Think about the last time you tried to get even 10 people to agree on something. Maybe it was where to go for dinner. Maybe it was what time the meeting should start. Maybe it was simply convincing your family to load the dishwasher the right way. 10 people, and it nearly broke you. Now imagine 3,000 complete strangers all at once from day one. Different backgrounds, different languages, different jobs, beliefs, habits, and histories, and yet somehow they became one. Not because they were naturally compatible, not because they had the same taste in music or the same political views, but because something, well, actually someone, was holding them together from the inside. That's the story that we're sitting with today. And I think it's the most quietly revolutionary thing the church has ever done. Today we're in Acts chapter 2. The Spirit has just come. Peter has just preached. And 3,000 people have said yes to Jesus, all in a single day. And then Luke, who wrote Acts, shows us what happened next. Not a strategy, not a program, just life together. Here's what he says in Acts chapter 2, verses 44 to 47. And all the believers met together in one place and shared everything they had, worshipping together at the temple each day. They met in homes for the Lord's Supper and shared their meals with great joy and generosity, all the while praising God and enjoying the goodwill of all the people. And each day the Lord added to their fellowship those who were being saved. Now, did you catch that sequence? They shared, they worshipped, they ate together with joy, they were generous. People noticed, and then more people came. Not the other way round. The early church didn't run an outreach program and then hope to feel united afterwards. The unity came first, the generosity came first, and the watching world couldn't look away. Here's the sticky point, and I want you to hold on to this today. The church's greatest witness is never a clever strategy. It's the quality of how Christians treat one another. A searching person will often notice that long before they hear a single sermon, long before they see a poster or a social media post. They notice it when someone holds a door open at the food bank, when the core hall or church is the warmest place on the street, when Christians disagree and somehow still respect each other. That's the Spirit at work. That's what 3,000 strangers looked like when they were woven together by something beyond themselves. Now, let's be honest, the New Testament doesn't pretend this is easy. Paul writes in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 3, "Make every effort to keep yourselves united in the Spirit, binding yourselves together with peace." Make every effort. That's not passive language, is it? That's the language of someone who knows how hard community life actually is. Paul has seen the rows, the hurt feelings, the theological arguments that turn personal. He's lived through it all. And yet he says, don't give up. Keep making the effort. Because unity is both a gift of the Spirit and a daily active choice that we make. You don't just receive it once and then coast along. You tend it. You choose it again and again, even when it costs you something. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the great German pastor and theologian who was imprisoned for his faith, wrote something that stays with me. He said, "The person who loves their dream of community will destroy community, but the person who loves those around them will create community." Now that's a very gentle but very precise challenge, because it's possible to love the idea of the church, the warm, unified, beautiful idea of it, and actually find real, messy, complicated people quite difficult. But Bonhoeffer says the only way through is to love the actual people in front of you. Not the ideal, but the real. And when we do that, when we choose one another, when we serve one another, When we eat together and pray together and stay together even when it's hard, we become the kind of community that a broken world cannot help but stop and stare at. 3,000 strangers, one spirit, one church, still the most compelling thing on earth when it's working. So here's your one small holy step for today. It is just one. Think of someone in your core or church, your small group, your street, or your workplace who you find genuinely difficult. Not someone you hate, but just someone where things feel a little strained, a little awkward, a little distant. Now, you don't need to fix the relationship today. You don't need a long conversation. But today, just today, do one small thing towards them: a text, a smile, a quiet prayer for them by name. Hold open the space between you rather than letting it close a little further. That's it. Just one small act of choosing community over comfort. Because that's how 3,000 strangers became one, not in a single dramatic moment, but in thousands of small daily choices to stay together. Here's my question for you today, and I'd love to hear your answers in the comments. What's the single most surprising thing you've ever experienced in a core or church community? Something that made you think, oh, only the Holy Spirit could have done that. Let's close with a prayer. Lord, you took 3,000 strangers and you made them family. You're still doing that today. Help us to be the kind of community that the world just can't quite explain. Help us to choose one another in the small moments, in the everyday moments. And where things feel strained, give us the courage to take one step towards each other rather than one step away. Amen. Thank you so much for being here today. Tomorrow, we're asking a big question, because spiritual gifts are one of those things the church gets tangled up in more often than we'd like to admit. What if your gift isn't actually yours to keep? We'll be looking at that together tomorrow, and I think it might reframe the whole conversation around spiritual gifts. See you then.